Have you ever noticed that the people who have the biggest impact on a room are often the ones who speak the least? It's like they carry a silent kind of power that naturally rearranges everything around them, without any effort. While many try to convince others with words, these people influence simply through presence. It challenges logic, confuses the ego, and sparks an irresistible curiosity. What makes someone be heard even when they're silent? We live in a noisy world where everyone talks, but few truly make others feel something. Yet, there's an invisible force, and those who understand it play the game without ever having to compete. That force comes from the conscious mind, from the alignment between thought, emotion, and action. When you're coherent on the inside, the world aligns on the outside. It's mental influence in its purest form, quiet but impossible to resist. Have you ever seen someone walk into a room and suddenly everything feels balanced? It's as if the atmosphere bends to their energy. That's not random. It's thought transmission, the invisible language of minds vibrating in harmony with their own center. The human mind is a living antenna. It constantly emits signals, thoughts, emotions, intentions that travel and shape the environment around it. When the conscious mind is aligned, those signals become clear, steady, magnetic. The body follows, posture speaks, eyes transmit, presence communicates. And suddenly, silence becomes a voice. A leader who masters this state doesn't need to raise their tone. Simply being there is enough. Their energy field speaks first, and the message arrives before the words do. Silent influence is like an energy field that comes before sound. You feel it when someone walks in, and the atmosphere shifts, even though they've done nothing. They simply vibrate differently. That's the essence of a conscious mind. It doesn't try to impress. It just radiates authenticity. The more aligned that vibration is, the clearer the thought transmission becomes. People around may not understand it logically, but they feel something, and that something is the beginning of real impact. Why does this matter so much? Because at the end of the day, words may convince, but energy truly captivates. In a world where everyone is shouting to be noticed, those who master mental influence stand out precisely through silence. They inspire without forcing, lead without imposing, and attract without promising. A conscious mind creates a presence that speaks directly to others' subconscious, awakening trust, calm, and respect. It's a kind of power that doesn't need permission to be felt. Being able to influence without speaking is a skill that surpasses any communication technique. Imagine leading a team, handling a conversation, or calming a conflict without ever raising your voice. That's mental influence in motion, a force that doesn't push, it pulls. And the most fascinating part? This power is available to everyone. You just need to learn to listen to your own energy field, tune your conscious mind, and align your emotions with your intentions. So how do you do that? The first step is inner calibration, aligning what you think, feel, and do. Before any important conversation, take a deep breath, feel your body, visualize the outcome, and enter the emotional state you want to project. That changes everything. Thought transmission begins before words. Next, pay attention to your body language. It's the mirror of your mind. Open shoulders, steady gaze, relaxed posture. Your body speaks the language of confidence, and the conscious mind amplifies that message. Listening is also a tool of power. When you listen with real attention, the energy shifts. The person feels seen, understood, validated. That's the effect of presence. Mental influence isn't about interrupting. It's about holding the right kind of silence, the one that welcomes, not distances. It's in the space between words that thought transmission works most powerfully, because what you feel while listening is what the other person picks up, even without realizing it. Keeping your energy steady is another secret of silent influencers. The conscious mind needs emotional stability, especially in times of chaos. Before stepping into a challenging situation, pause, breathe, and ground your vibration. The world doesn't respond to what you say, but to what you radiate. When your mental influence is aligned, your surroundings adjust. People trust you without knowing why. They just feel it. And never underestimate the power of space and silence. Silence is concentrated presence. It gives weight to words and depth to your gaze. The conscious mind knows when to speak, and even more importantly, when not to. Each pause, gesture, and look creates subtle waves of thought transmission. It's a quiet language that only the attentive can perceive. The more you master this art, the more natural it becomes. Silent influence is like an invisible tree. Its roots are self-awareness, its trunk is inner coherence, and its branches are the gestures, expressions, and attitudes that touch the world. The conscious mind is the soil that nourishes it all. When your inner world is firm, the outer one blooms. Every gesture is an extension of your energy, and every interaction is a leaf unfolding. This is the biology of mental influence. It's born in the unseen, but bears fruit in the visible. In real situations, this power reveals itself clearly. In a meeting, instead of fighting for attention, you simply breathe, observe, and keep a calm gaze. Within seconds, the tension fades, and attention turns toward you. At a social event, a genuine smile and relaxed presence speak louder than rehearsed words. At home, your calmness can transform the entire atmosphere. Thought transmission works where words cannot reach, but it doesn't always work, and that's where many fail. The first mistake is pretending to be calm without actually being centered. The conscious mind can't be faked, it's felt. If your inner world is in chaos, your body will expose it. Another mistake is using silence poorly. What should be presence turns into absence. Mental influence isn't omission, it's energy mastery. Some even use this knowledge to manipulate and pay the price of inner dissonance. Wrong intention breaks the magic. The conscious mind is ethical. It knows that true power isn't about control, it's about harmony. When your intention is pure, to inspire, uplift, or bring peace, mental influence becomes irresistible. But when it's driven by vanity, it loses strength. That's why those who truly understand this art practice empathy, sensitivity, and observation. Because to influence is not to dominate, it's to connect. And when that silent power combines with conscious speech, the result is extraordinary. Words come alive, they gain weight and truth. The transmission of thought happens before sound and shapes its impact. When you tell a story with calmness, emotion, and energetic coherence, you create an almost hypnotic effect. The conscious mind turns communication into experience. The listener doesn't just understand, they feel. Technical knowledge helps, but presence sustains. The balance between knowing and being is what creates a true leader, a communicator who transforms through example. When the conscious mind aligns with purpose, the field responds. And when mental influence merges with practical wisdom, the impossible begins to feel natural. In the end, true power isn't in how much you speak, but in how you vibrate. The conscious mind is the invisible conductor of life's symphony. It orchestrates thoughts, emotions, and intentions in harmony with the universe. Mental influence acts where sound can't reach, and the transmission of thought turns every presence into a message. From that point on, you don't need to convince anymore, just to exist. And maybe that's the greatest revelation of all. The power to influence lies in being, not in appearing. The conscious mind expands, the field responds, and the world adjusts. Silence, when guided by pure intention, becomes the most powerful sound there is. Because in the end, the deepest influence doesn't come from the strength of your voice, but from the strength of your vibration. So now you know, power doesn't live in words, but in the energy that carries them. The conscious mind is the key. Once you learn to use it, mental influence becomes your natural language. Ask yourself, how many times have you tried to convince others and ended up exhausted? And how many times, in silence, did you see the world adjust to your inner state? That's not coincidence. That's coherence vibrating. But remember, knowledge without practice is just theory. Start now. Before you speak, breathe. Before you react, observe. Before you decide, align. The transmission of thought works best when you are at peace, and over time, silence begins to work for you. Now tell me, are you ready to use the invisible power you've always had? Are you willing to let your energy speak louder than your voice? If so, this is the beginning of a new phase, where your presence is your signature, and your vibration is your most powerful language. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Every week, we dive deeper into the power of consciousness, the art of silent influence, and the wisdom of the energy that moves the unseen. And remember, you don't have to shout to be heard. You just need to be in tune with who you truly are.